straight from the lab of HbsBeats.com.
Yo, what up, guys? How you all doing? All the way from HbsBeats.com. I'm gonna be teaching you how to make a gospel praise beat from scratch. So as you can see, I have FL Studio open and there is nothing. So we are gonna be making this beat from scratch. If you want more lessons from me, check out my website HbsBeats.com. Go there, sign up. Once you sign up, you're going to be having access to premium downloads. You're going to be downloading this FLP. You download some MIDI packs, some drum packs, some lessons, and you're going to be having one-on-one coaching. Some people ask me, do I need to have a piano before I can make beats? You don't need to have a piano. You need some music foundation, some basic foundation in music. That means you're supposed to know which key you are in, and you're supposed to know some of your scales of that key, and then some basic chords. In gospel music, there are things that you need to consider. Looking at the church, for example, you want to make a gospel music, so you have to look at the church. What instrument does the church have? How many choir are going to be taking this song you want to produce? So for this tutorial, what I'm going to be doing, I know that a church has a drummer, a guitarist, conga, name it, sax, brass, or piano. Name them. Another thing you're going to be considering is the arrangement of the song. You have your introduction, your verse, your chorus, your bridge, chorus, then outro, whatever you want to do. So because of this tutorial, I'm not going to be giving you much details like I normally do for my premium students. So if you want to get the premium membership, head up to HbsBeats.com to sign up. And if you want to get this FLP, check in the description of this video. You're going to get a link to download the FLP. So guys, let's dive right into it. So I'm going to start with our tempo. So I'm going to be using this tempo 130 because I'm going to start with this. This is a praise beat, so it has to be danceable very fast. So the first thing I want to do is to load up my percussion instrument. So let's look for samples. If you don't have samples, you can check HbsBeats.com, or you can contact me from my number in the description of this video. So remember, you're making a praise beat. Your kick is not supposed to be very heavy like the Afrobeat, commercial, secular songs. Alright, so we are going to be using this light kick. As time goes on, if it doesn't match in our beat, we're going to replace it. So once you load in your kick, if you're using headphones, you will notice some white noise at the end of the kick. So the way we'll do this is to cut the out a little bit so that the kick becomes clean. Okay, so let's go with this, but I'm noticing some harsh sound. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add this into the mixer. How you going to add the mixer? I right click on it and you say channel routing, route selected to this track. So I'm going to add an EQ. Okay, so I'll solo the sounds so that I can detect that part which I don't like, then clean it up. Okay, I think I'm fine with it this way. So let's do our steady kick. So don't forget, you can as well change the notes if you need it to be tinier. If you want to change the pitch. So the next thing we are going to be doing is to add the kick also to the mixer. Then now we are going to be adding our shaker. So for this, I'm going to be using a shaker loop. So I'm going to add this pattern to the playlist. So we'll add a conga loop, and also we'll add a shaker loop. Make your shaker loop. So I'm just going to duplicate them. So if you want to hear how they sound individually, this is what they sound like. And this is what the shaker sounds like. I can actually do this feel on my own, but it's going to take time. So let me just give you one secret about the pros. If you want to be a pro and someone hires you to come and make a beat, you can't just stay there and waste the person's time, because they pay you per hour. So if you charge $100 per hour and you spend 1 hour making your conga or shaker, you think the person is going to pay you another $100? No. So you have to be wise. These things have already been made, so just drag them and drop instead of making them on your own. But if you want to learn how these things are done, you can do it on your own. Then when you've known how it is done, then you can start using the loops. So I'm just going to add them to the mixer. So let's see how they sound. Sounds good, right? Let's see now with the shaker. Okay, let's see how everything sounds all together. Okay, sounds good. So I'm going to reduce the shaker a little bit, then I'm going to pan it to the right, about 60% to the right. And the conga, I'm also going to pan it to the left, about 60%. And let's see how it sounds. Don't forget to save your project. So because the shaker is a high frequency instrument, I'm going to add an EQ and cut out every information that has to do with the low ends. So the next thing I want to do is to add the same pattern with the clap to our clav. So I'm going to edit the clap a little bit by taking away these extra notes. So let's see what it sounds like. Okay, that's fine to me. So the next thing I want to do is to add the clav into the mixer. Then I'm going to add a little bit of reverb. So when you're working with your reverb, you have to touch your decay, your size, or maybe high cut, and then the dry, the wet. So now we are good like this. Let's see how everything sounds together. Then I'm going to add the last percussion. Okay, so let's add the last. So this percussion is going to play the same thing the clav it's playing. So let's see how it sounds on its own. So why I added this one now, because of the clav has a reverb in it, you're not going to be hearing it as loud as it's supposed to be. So that's why I added this other percussion to make it sound pronounced. So this is what both of them sounds like without. So I believe you get what I'm saying. So one last thing I want to do to the kick is to cover to the miscellaneous panel, then come over to this volume and increase it about 10%. That's what's gonna make the kick loud more. Then I'm gonna add an EQ to the kick. So let's listen to the kick, how it sounds. So as you can see, we have white noise here, so we don't need it, so I'm gonna cut it. So now that we've gotten everything set up like this, the next thing we're gonna do is to balance the instruments. The last thing I want to do for this percussion is to add a swing to it. So I'm going to be using about 30% of swing. So let's see how 30% sounds. Okay, so now we got our drums fine like this. Next thing I want to do is to add the drums to a bus. You understand? So I'm going to create a bus for my drums, and I'm going to call it. I want to route all this instrument down to this bus. So how I'm going to do it, I'm going to select. If you don't know how to select your instrument, just hold down Control, then you drag, then come over here to the bus, then right click on this angle and you say route to this track only. So as you can see, it's now routed to the track. So now if you play the instrument, you see it's going to be coming out from here. So I can choose to drop down the volume if I want to mute all the drums. So you see, it's still playing, but I can't hear it because I've routed them. Okay, so now we can create our progression. So if you don't have any knowledge about creating your piano progressions, you can visit HbsBeats.com, sign up, and you're going to see some piano courses there from scratch, the foundation class. You're going to join, then you start your foundation lesson. So let's add our piano. All right, so we're going to be in the key of B flat. Okay, so I'm fine with that sound. So we are going to be going from, let's say, from R1 to the 5. Then from 5, we'll go over to the 2. Then from the 2, we'll go to the 4. If you want to learn how to play piano, try to reach out to me. Alright, so the next thing I want to add is a brass, not too heavy but light. So let's use expand. So I'm just gonna copy what I've played. So I'll go over to a new pattern and paste this down there. So now we can edit it. So the next thing we want to add is our strings. So I'm going to be using Purity for this. So everything I'm doing here, as you can see, it's out of just that first melody I created here from the piano. So I'm going to add strings. So the next thing we're going to add, it's marimba. Marimba. Let's add a bell to our marimba. Okay, so let's add Almighty Nexus. So I'm just going to be using a muted guitar from Nexus. So next off, I'll add my melody guitar. So I don't know what guitar to use at this point in time, but let me just use guitar thing. Okay guys, so let's add our instruments into a bus. So track routing selected to this track only. So this is our piano bus. Okay, now we have to add our bass guitar. So I'm going to be using Boobas from FL Studio. So the way I add my bass, I first of all get the progression of the song before I then do some phrasing. So one secret about your bass guitar, you have to take it to a higher melody so that you can hear the actual note, because if you take it down, it's going to be sounding boom 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 and you're not going to be getting the exact note. Okay, so let's see how this sounds deep. So now, as we have gotten everything set like this, now we don't have an intro, we just have a straight song. So now let's split this out. So first of all, I'll duplicate it. Okay, that's fine for our intro. So the next thing we want to add a guitar for that intro. So I'm going to select an overdrive guitar. Okay guys, so I'm gonna layer the piano with some various instruments. So I think I'm satisfied with my piano. So I'm gonna bounce it to wave to save some space, some memory. We need a bass at the intro of the song, so we're gonna add a bass here.